Hi, everyone. Welcome back to episode 57 of the Simply One podcast. I'm your host, Colin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Chris.
How we doing, everybody?
We're just a couple of best friends who are passionate about all things pop culture. If you're looking for lukewarm takes on movies, video games, TV shows, or even the occasional comic, then we've got the show for you.
That's right.
This week, we're talking about John Wick Chapter 4.
That's right. Very anticipated. For
yeah, I would say it's one of your most anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
I anticipated it as well, but it's definitely not up there for me like it is you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
jerk Keanu Reeves off in John Wick until the day I die.
You're a Wick head.
What the fuck did you call me?
I said dickhead.
Oh.
Suck my wick. No, so before we get into our review of that, I have a bit of news for us that includes the fate of E3, a surprise update on the It prequel series,
Sorpresa!
rewrites at Marvel, and trailers for Blue Beetle, Barry Season 4, Extraction 2, and Marvel's Secret Invasion.
Let's hop in it.
Yeah, you ready?
Let's
jump
dive.
in. Let's yump. So if you're ready, we'll just jump in.
Let's jump right in.
All right, so E3 has officially been canceled.
Wah.
You know, ask not for whom the bell tolls. Tolls for E3, you know? Nearly a year after the Entertainment Software Association announced the show's return, the organization has sent out emails to its members confirming the show's cancellation.
Wah.
The email said that, quote, while E3 remains a beloved event and brand, the 2023 version simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact of our industry. Is that a fart?
No.
Was that a burp? Which one was it?
Maybe it was a burp.
Okay. I was hoping it was a fart. Just burp.
Damn bullfrog out here.
That's what we get for recording by the swamp.
Barking spider.
That explains the smell. After publications began running this story, the ESA gave a public statement that reads, sorry, I took a big fucking breath there. This was a difficult decision because of all the effort we and our partners put towards making this event happen, but we had to do what's right for the industry and what's right for E3. We appreciate and understand that interested companies wouldn't have playable demos ready, and that resourcing challenges made being at E3 this summer an obstacle they couldn't overcome. For those who did commit to E3 2023, we're sorry we can't put on the showcase you deserve and that you've come to expect from ReedPop's events experiences. And they did go on to reference that like they're going to continue to work with ReedPop, which is like the event coordinators, on future E3 experiences. So they're not writing it off yet.
I'm before that, but it also, I remember when we first found that out. But that was kind of sad because like E3 is such a thing of, I remember watching it for all the games. Like it was a big event. Like all my buddies and I would, you know, one of them in particular, I know we would all go to his house and he pre-recorded them and stuff like that. Right. So we wouldn't miss anything.
Yeah. And I distinctly recall like being down in Texas with family for like some summer vacation or something and being like having to have my smart, I think at the time it was not my smartphone. It might've been my, I guess, yeah, it would have been my smartphone still, my iPhone. And like, I gotta get the news updates. What's going on, you know? What's going on?
Games are coming out.
Yeah. Finding out, that's where I found out about Assassin's Creed Unity. And I was like, yo, a co-op Assassin's Creed? Fucking cut it out.
Stop playing.
And I had dropped and busted my phone, so I'm like slicing my finger open on a broken screen trying to watch trailers through it. Got anything for E3?
Now it's done.
Yeah.
All that meant nothing.
Well, this year it's done. But I think this is the first of many death throes.
Yeah. This is the beginning of the end.
Not with a whimper, but with a bang. They need to go out with a bang.
Yeah.
You know?
They need to
like, we need to find out that like it was all a front for like drugs and sex trafficking.
I think they should blow up the E3 building headquarters. Just put a bunch of detonators in it.
Yeah, just blow it up. You blow it up! Boom. But yeah, so it's canceled. This year for certain, but I do think this might just be the trend moving forward.
Cancel culture is getting them all, man.
The goddamn woke liberal media. It took E3 from us.
If I wear a mask.
In a recent interview for John Wick Chapter 4, Bill Skarsgård confirmed that he will not be back as Pennywise the Dancing Clown. He says, as of now, I'm not currently involved with it, referencing that Welcome to Derry series. So he says, as of now, I'm not currently involved with it. If someone else gets to do it, my advice would be do it your own, make it your own, have fun with it. What I found pleasurable about that character is how abstract he is. Mm-hmm. So, like, there's not much known about the character, about the series at this point in time. The title, even, Welcome to Derry, isn't concrete. That's a working title.
Yeah.
And so, at this point, it's not clear if, like, I do believe that the original intents
were to have Bill Skarsgård.
Pennywise.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that, but I don't know.
Like, how easy would it be to recast?
Yeah, I mean, it is heavily makeup, but also the performance itself is definitely Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, yeah. As well as, like, this Pennywise had such a certain uniqueness to him. So, I mean, I guess they could, in a way, go back to, like, the original ones.
Yeah.
And kind of try to base it off that.
Yeah, or do you just completely reinvent it and then it's not set in the same canon as the current It Chapter 1 and 2?
I feel like that causes a lot of problems. I mean, it's... it's It, right? Yeah. It's not Star Trek or Star Wars. There doesn't need to be a whole bunch of lore behind making it a multiversal thing.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying you don't tie it directly to It Chapter 1 and 2 of the new movies. You just make it another thing that takes place in Derry.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But that it's not a direct prequel to.
Do you think they're going to scrap it?
I don't know. Because it was kind of on again, off again for a little bit after It Chapter 2 came out that... I just completely... Andy Muschietti, who made the It movies, was like, yeah, we're going to do a series. And it kind of was then on the shelf for a while, and then it came back up, and it was like, okay, now we're doing it. And then it's like, Bill Skarsgård's like, yeah, at this point, I'm not involved in it.
Yeah.
Which kind of, to me, almost sounded as if, like, I haven't been asked anything about it. The way he phrased it of, like, how was it? As of now, I'm not currently involved with it. To me, kind of has the implication of, like, I mean, yeah, right now, I don't have any involvement in it.
Yeah, I know I told you earlier as well, but I wanted to say, like, I don't blame him because, like, Pennywise is such a, like, when you see that
distinct
actor, you don't go, oh, that's Bill Skarsgård. You go, oh, that's Pennywise. So, kind of like the same thing with Mark Hamill and, like, Luke Skywalker. You see him and you're like, oh, that's Luke
but at least Luke Skywalker is his face.
Right, sure.
You know what I mean?
But still, you know what I'm trying to say at least. But it's like, I don't blame him one bit for
avoiding typecast
trying to get out of
or
that.
bottlenecking.
So, I mean, yeah, good for him.
Because like we were talking, Bill Skarsgård, who is in John Wick Chapter 4,
did a very good job.
He was good. Yeah, he was good in that movie, but also he's been a really good guy lately. Of like, shit, that's Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
just making those appearances.
Yeah, like I think about him in Barbarian.
Yep.
And
makes
playing
sense.
against type, where like you kind of expect him to be creepy. I mean, we talked about it in our episode about it, but that idea of like setting the expectation of, oh, this is Bill Skarsgård, he's going to be the bad guy, and then he's not. He's just a dude who's kind of sweet. I do really wish that they would have marketed that film pretty heavily as like somehow you have to thread the needle of like this is a horror movie, but like sell the romantic comedy like the meet cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would have been a really interesting thing to go in of like. Oh, what's this romantic comedy or whatever? And then
just the Barbarian
takes a hard turn.
Mama.
And you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, you're fucking rubbing your head trying to comprehend what's going on as you see, what's her name? I can't remember the actress's name who plays.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know offhand.
She's fucking sucking on the nipple of the bottle.
Yeah. Or just Justin Long being actually nursed.
Just the hair.
Yeah. Yuck. But yeah, so I don't know what's going on with the It prequel series, but that was kind of really surprising to see that, like, yeah, Bill Skarsgård at this point is not attached to it.
I mean, I don't, like I said, I fully support whatever he decides to do because...
We've got our support, Bill Skarsgård.
We do. We do.
So the Fantastic Four film is undergoing rewrites with Avatar 2 writer Josh Friedman stepping in to oversee the adjustments.
Oh, boy.
But so I was looking. He was also involved pretty heavily in Terminator. I can't think of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the TV show.
Okay.
It's not exactly like the pinnacle of television writing, but he also wrote a big chunk of. It sounds like he works a lot with James Cameron because he worked on the new Terminator Dark Fate, which again didn't do well. I didn't see it, but my understanding is that the story wasn't necessarily a weak point. It was just kind of the franchise itself was kind of getting worn out.
Yeah.
But then the TV series on TNT, Snowpiercer, was part of his co-creation. And then he's got an Apple TV Plus series called The Foundation, which is an Isaac Asimov book that he's adapting. And he worked on, excuse me, I just belched. He worked on War of the Worlds as well with Tom Cruise. So he's got a pretty decent, like, he
His
works
name's out
alongside,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
he works alongside James Cameron, he works alongside Spielberg, you know. So obviously we don't really know what the changes are because it's so far off that, you know, it's not like they're doing reshoots, they're just rewriting.
Right.
So that could be good or bad. That could just be they read it and went, this just isn't what we're feeling.
Some things I wanted to change here and there.
Matt Shackman is still on board as the director for the project after he worked on WandaVision. So, like I said, we don't know what the rewrites entail or the reason that they're needed, but a lot of people I've seen are speculating that potentially trying to minimize Jonathan Majors' involvement because Kang is a direct descendant of Reed Richards and Sue Storm.
Yeah.
And so there's a potential for Kang to show up. Kang also shows up first in the Fantastic Four books.
Yeah.
And so there's the potential that they're like, how can we not make him as integral in case we have to separate? But then another thing that people have been talking about that I think is just as plausible and hopefully is more the case is looking at the specialties of the two scripts writers. So the first script was written by a duo, Kaplan and Springer, who have a comedic background. Okay. And they've, that's kind of their style as they write comedy.
Yeah. We always say, like, if you can do comedy,
yeah,
you can do drama.
While Friedman, as I was listing off his resume, has a really strong sci-fi background. So potentially they're kind of refocusing, going away from the comedic slant and more into making it a sci-fi adventure, which I think that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
And it could potentially be a response to some of the criticisms they've been getting lately of, like, Marvel just kind of being samey at this point.
Yeah.
And,
it's white bread. It's plain.
Yeah, and undercutting,
milk.
Undercutting, serious moments with comedy needlessly and things like that. But this also, in that same vein, comes after reports that Marvel will be slowing down production of its films and shows to better produce the ones they release.
It's cool with me.
Yeah, where
they did a good job with it. I know we talked about this before. They did a good job when they first released, like Loki,
WandaVision, Moon Knight to an extent, but then also like
I like Moon Knight.
Yeah, I don't dislike it, but I don't put it in like the top tier Marvel stuff.
You hold your tongue.
I think the character has a lot more promise than the show.
Yeah, I agree.
But I even enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know you didn't get through it, did you?
No, I did.
Which one was it that you stopped watching? Hawkeye is
the one I haven't finished.
Yeah. I don't think they've done better than Loki or WandaVision.
No. I think for Winter Soldier, I think we've talked about this. I was so in the Winter Soldier, I really liked Bucky, his whole arc of like what he was doing, I guess, as far as like trying to find redemption within himself.
Oh, okay, yeah, in the show, yeah.
And like that was cool. I wish they would have showed more of that.
Yeah. Well, maybe they will get more of it because he is in the Thunderbolts. He's the leader.
Well, yeah, I hope we do.
Yeah.
And then as far as
Sam Wilson,
I really liked his story, but I think they kind of did him dirty. I think there's so much more.
They did Sam dirty?
Yeah, they could have done a whole lot more with him, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's getting a whole ass movie.
That's true.
This was kind of setting him, giving him the roots. And I do like that both of them had the... Yeah, because they were talking about Sam and Bucky. There was that really good like couples therapy scene.
Yeah,
when he's trying to figure out why Sam's mad at him for giving up the shield, and Bucky tells him like he gave you that shield because he wanted it to be
saw
yours.
It in you.
Yeah, and if he was wrong about you, then maybe he was wrong about me. And you're like, boo, rough.
Damn.
But all that to say that I do think the more serious Marvel films have been their best.
Absolutely.
I still think that like Captain America Winter
Soldier was really good.
Is like in the top 5 Marvel films. That's a good standalone.
I agree with that 100%.
The action in it, I think fucking elevator fight, my God.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Same with Civil War, I thought as well was a really, drama heavy.
I saw a meme on TikTok or maybe Reddit, I don't remember, but it was basically like, turns out I think the Russo brothers just know how to make a good Marvel movie. Because like Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, Winter Soldier are all them.
Banging.
And you're like, dude, these are fucking bangers. Like
they just know how to do it. They got the gift.
Get them back. Get them out of here.
Put them in a body bag.
But yeah, so who knows what that means for the Fantastic Four, but not me.
Yeah, couldn't be me.
Hopefully it's a good change.
Do you think they're still going to have John Krasinski playing as?
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised either way. You know what I mean?
I'd like to.
Yeah. I do remember hearing that, like, Kevin Feige's whole thing was basically, there we go. There you go. We did it, you know?
Because, that was blown up everywhere.
Yeah, and now it's been kind of quiet. Yeah, I mean, for a long time, it was like, John Krasinski's got to be him. And then they were like, there, we did it. And we spaghettified his ass and exploded his head.
Yep.
Yeah. What does she say? Is your wife alive?
Yeah.
Or do you have a wife? And he's like, yes, I do. Yeah, and she's like, good. Then there'll be someone for the kids. Just
to raise them. And
just
when the moon hits your right like a big pizza pie, that's
spaghetti. She just spaghettifies him.
Head turns into a fucking meatball.
Yeah, dude, when she fucking
what mouth?
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. Dude. I wanted that to be more gory.
It should have been.
But all of that to say, we got trailers. Trailers for days, baby. We got trailers for Blue Beetle, Barry, Season 4, Extraction 2, Secret Invasion. Start at the top, Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Dude, Blue Beetle looks fucking good. It looks
really good.
It looks really good.
Yeah, welcome back to Gas or Pass.
Yeah, Gas. Or
Blue Beetle?
Gas. Yeah, no, dude, I was fucking loving the part where...
You just described the whole trailer. I was loving the part where, and then
in the trailer when he picks up like the beetle,
yeah, the
and
scarab.
like it starts to form onto him, and it's like burning his clothes off.
It's kind of horror-ish.
I like that concept of like, ooh, like what if it wasn't like I got superpowers? It was like what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and I love his family. It's just all
just staring at him.
Yeah, because he gets fucking pinned to the ceiling and his clothes are burning off, and he's screaming and freaking out as his suit's just forming over his skin,
just burning his clothes off.
Yeah. And then he's a fucking beetle. Like I don't know what to tell you, man. Like
call him Ringo, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little darling.
He's a beetle. Fuck you.
When and where?
So yeah, he's got. He's kind of. I don't want to make the comparison, but I'm gonna. There's like, in the most basic sense, there's an Iron Man-esque of like the suit with the abilities.
I thought that, but I thought it looked so different at the point of like no.
And that's
like,
what I'm saying. At its basics. And I mean the character's not.
Nothing like Tony Stark.
Right, exactly. Just a little bit in abilities, but then later on, no. But for real though, he gets the fucking scarab.
No, for real though, you
are rapidly balding.
I do have as a matter of fact, I took a screenshot of it. Side note, we'll break off to talk about this. Plus, it gives us good time to banter. I am balding rapidly, and my fear is that I will go bald before I hit 30. And if I do, I will just not exist anymore.
No. I like that you had to stop and think how you were going to say that.
How am I going to say this? But it is called...
hair plugs. Just go the Elon Musk route.
No, it's...
Rogaine? Like, what are we looking here for?
Maybe I don't have it, but it's like a supplement you take. It's a pill. And it's supposed to help thicken your hair, but it has to be prescribed.
Yeah.
A coworker's son said that he was taking it, and he was like,
"That boy's got a mane."
He said he thinks he has to stop taking it because his hair's coming in way too thick, and he has to get a haircut every 2 weeks. And I was like, "Dude, I wish I had that fucking problem."
He has to pry his butt cheeks apart from the hair, just latching onto each other like Velcro.
Peanut butter from a shaggy carpet when he takes a shit.
Ugh.
But I mean, I'd love to get behind
it's like a charcoal filter, you know.
Oh my god, if I just could have hair.
You've got hair. You've got hair.
It's gone.
No, it's not. I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, I can see the horseshoe in the mirror. When I turn on the light, I look at it, I'm like, it's thinning.
It does have a cotton candy vibe sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like when you see it spinning in there.
Yep.
No, you're not there yet. So Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. Gas. No, that's good.
Gas. It looks good.
George Lopez was in it?
Yeah,
I haven't seen him.
Which was a little bit of a... Yeah, was that George Lopez?
Yeah, I haven't seen him in anything in so long.
A minute. Low rider. I love all the memes of like just waking up at 3 a.m. in like 2011 and you're just on Nick at Night and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Low rider. And so I mean the premise just seems to be he's got this alien tech on him that turns him into the Blue Beetle, and it's got wings. It's got some like hollow shield stuff.
Yeah.
And then I really like the little stinger at the end there, no pun intended, where, there's like an onboard AI. Again, a little Iron Man-y.
I feel like if you have a suit, it's gonna have
you gotta
AI.
have it. And where she tells him like, if you can think it, I can create
do
it.
it. And he
creates just like a big ass Final
sword.
Fantasy sword.
Dude.
And she's like, nice choice.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, yo, I want this. I want. Yeah.
What?
Fucking slap.
You just clutched your forehead.
Yeah, I'm like, this is bumping.
Oh my god. Oh fuck. All right, following the alphabet here, Barry. I did not put these in alphabetical order, but they're both B's. So Barry season 4, final season.
Dude.
I don't know if we've mentioned Barry season 4 yet in this. Maybe not.
Maybe when we did our Barry episode.
Well, no, because we didn't know that Barry season 4 was coming out. I'm talking like the teaser trailer that we got about a month ago. I don't know if we did that on the show or not.
No, we did not.
So it is confirmed it's the final season, which I honestly say good.
Yeah.
Because it is at a point where like
shit's hitting the
there's
fan.
not a lot further you can take this.
Right. Yeah.
Without stretching.
Right. So like it has to kind of have a resolution because at this point Barry's been caught.
Yeah, he's done been got. Yeah, spoilers for season 3. He is.
So now it's just kind of like
he's in jail.
Yeah, like
and
what happens.
And I'd even kind of said like he and Fuchs are both in jail, and that'll probably be a big focus of it. And it seems like that's.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I want him to beat the piss out of Fuchs.
Yeah,
so I want him to kill him. I don't think he's gonna.
And I don't either. But I do like that they're really leaning into the idea of like, I don't like Barry's irredeemable. I think.
Yeah, there's
he's a
nothing...
bad guy, and I like that he's really like railing against that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it would be disingenuous for the show to somehow go. The lesson at the end is that Barry can change. He's a good guy. Because it's not where it's headed.
No.
I think he might pull a Walter White and like take some bad guys out with him. But at the end of the day, Walter White's still a monster.
Yeah, you can't reverse everything that you did.
Yeah.
I want to see more about NoHo Hank and.
Well, and it looks like there is going to be a focus on Hank and. Oh
my God! What's his name? The cartel leader.
He is. Oh my God. What the fuck is his name? Jamie, pull it up. Hank's partner.
I think it starts with a G.
I don't think so. Could be, but I don't think so. But he saved him from the Colombian. Are they Colombian?
Yeah.
No, Bolivian.
Bolivian. That's what
the Bolivians.
Cristobal.
Yeah.
Not a G.
Yeah, Cristobal.
Yeah, but he saves him from shock therapy.
Yeah.
Which is like nuts.
Yeah. And like Hank killed some people. And
well, I know we talked about it in our Barry episode, but I really admire Hank's character, especially in the fact when he was
season 2.
Yeah, scaring Barry because he's like, "You fucked with me, dude." Yeah. And like, that's not gonna fly.
Yeah, you don't get to fucking do that anymore.
Yeah, I was like,
because like we've talked about before, it kind of gives you a little sneak peek of like this guy exists in this world for some reason.
Right. Yeah. Right? He didn't just land there.
Yeah. He's not somebody's like brother-in-law or anything like that. He's actually in the Chechen mob, and he's got it in him.
He's got that dog in him.
That dog in him. But no, and I think I'll be interested to see what goes on with Sally because she also killed a man last season, and Barry is taking the heat for it.
Yep.
And Barry's just in jail, and the world is going to go on. And I'd like to see the fallout of like all of these things that he, was hiding. All the cards are falling. Of like, oh, that was Barry, and it's all going to come out.
Do you think Sally's going to go to jail?
I don't know.
No, I
did my mic just cut out?
I thought mine did too. But I am curious to see what happens panning out. Just because I know, like with Barry's character, I'm curious to see what he tries to say to Kusano.
Yeah.
To try to redeem himself from it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very excited for Barry.
Yeah, it's definitely going to wrap up in a way.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah, so I'm nervous. Not like keeping me awake at night, but endings are always.
Yeah, but they also seem like they've.
Yeah, I mean,
they
I
know
trust
how it's
them.
going to end.
Yeah,
it sounds like that they plan for this to be the end.
Yeah,
which is always good to hear.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like their writer's room had a similar. I don't know what you want to say, like method or methodology was easy for me to say. Of writing, of basically, if it makes sense, do that.
Yeah.
If, basically like, if I'm writing here and it doesn't make sense for me to drag this into 3 episodes and I could wrap it up in 2 or 1, just do that.
Barry did a really good job, I think, same with like Breaking Bad, of composing the whole series to be based off of this happened. which causes this to happen, which
Yeah.
causes that to happen, rather than like this happened and then this happened and then this happened and here are the
Did you
results.
also see that TikTok from South Park?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
Matt
did.
Stone and Trey Parker, which oddly enough, for a couple seasons, Bill Hader was a writer on South Park with
Really?
Matt Stone and Trey
I didn't
Parker.
know that.
Yeah.
But
And
I
he did voices on it as well
I believe that.
here in the more recent seasons.
Oh, I thought it would have been some of his older stuff.
It was after SNL. So I think that's probably a lesson that he learned in that writer's room and how it can apply to anything you're writing is, that it should be cause and effect, not a list of events.
But when I heard that, Breaking Bad was one of the first things I thought of, and then Barry was the follow-up behind it of like, it is that. It almost seems like
this happened and therefore that happened, as opposed to this happened, then that happened, then that happened.
and then I just feel like it has such a natural flow to it because it's like, okay.
That's how the world works.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm jazzed for that.
Oh, yeah. I'm very jazzed about it.
Another trailer that showed up out of nowhere for me, Extraction 2.
Yeah.
So, like, I've always been a proponent of the first Extraction. I enjoyed that movie as like there's a lot of asterisks on it, right? It's an action movie on Netflix, with Chris Hemsworth in it. Not that that's a big asterisk, but, he's kind of a, what did I say?
Sellout.
Johnny Action Man,
He's on Marvel. He's a sellout.
Sellout.
Thank you so much for listening.
Somehow both balding and pubescent.
It's the fucking worst.
You're like,
Benjamin Button.
yeah. Except you're aging in both directions, and at some point they'll cross over.
And that's when I'll die.
Yeah. When they converge, you're both rapidly aging and aging in reverse.
I'll have to sacrifice a baby.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, Extraction 2, like I said, had a lot of asterisks against it. Mm-hmm. Being just a Netflix action movie, kind of.
What kind of ass tricks did they have?
They could shoot ping pong balls just 20 feet max.
That's what I was going to do. Now that is a trick right there.
Sounds like a COD 4 grenade launcher. Just thump, thump. So, Extraction 2. Looks banging. The teaser trailer here was mostly a one-shot.
Yeah.
Just a clip from the movie. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I liked the...
There's a big riot scene.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a prison riot.
Yeah, he's trying to take some girl.
Get a girl out. Yeah, that's who he's extracting this time. Yeah, in the first movie, it was a young man in India, I believe. Could have been Pakistan. I think it might have been on the border.
Yeah.
He was trying to get that boy out. This one, it seems like he's getting this young lady out.
Some girl out.
The prison that looks like it might be, somewhere in like Russia or Serbia, somewhere cold and snowy, right? Is in a full riot, and he's like got her pinned down on his, he makes her like pull the pin on a grenade for him,
Yeah,
so he can,
or an EMP, and he throws it back, or a
flashbang, and covers her ears, and it bosh, and he fucking gets up and he gets bricked
hard in the back of the
if
head.
you know what I'm saying.
I was bricked.
he gets clubbed in the back of the head with a brick, and they kind of quickly explain like he did get shot and nearly died.
Yeah, he was
in fact,
medically
I think she
dead.
says he was clinically dead.
Or yeah, that's what it was.
But they revive him and get him back, and he looks pretty roughed up in the hospital.
Yeah, they did a good job. And then just like America does, they send him back in.
Well, so he's not American. In the movie, he is Australian.
Oh.
And he's a mercenary. So he's not a soldier for a country. He's a soldier of fortune. And so he...
I'll have to rewatch the first one because I thought he was military.
It's a good movie.
Oh, like I've seen it before.
His name's literally, I think it's like... I don't remember what his first name is, but his last name's Rake.
His first name is Crocodile. His last name's Dundee.
Yeah. It's just Crocodile Dundee 3, or I guess 4. And it's just him extracting fucking Indian warlord's son. Crikey. At one point, he fucking beats one dude with another dude. Like, swings this guy by the legs at another man. Because it's like,
It's all day down under.
Crikey.
That's the didgeridoo who still owes me money.
Cunt. And he just fucking... no, he is like a 6'6" man, just beating the shit out of these Indian/Pakistani gentlemen. Hard.
As you do.
And it's dope. And then fucking, yeah, so he's in this prison riot, and he, like, kind of is, they got a really cool, like, steady cam locked onto him, where he's probably wearing the camera itself.
Yeah, and as he's swaying the camera, swaying back
with him,
and forth.
locked on with him, and then he kind of, like, locks in again from getting clubbed and just starts beating the shit out of people with a riot shield, just using it as a club.
He rips it out of the officer's hand.
Like, seems to maybe break the dude's arm to take it off him, and then just starts beating the shit out of people with it,
and then catches a Molotov with it.
The Molotov's flying in, and he fucking puts it up, lights his arm on fire, and then he just starts beating the hell out of people with his bare hands with a flaming arm, and, you know, progresses into some judo shit, you know, knocking people's legs out from under him and stuff, and then, you know, cuts to extraction. And then goes,
we'll throw you another bone.
This is a big action movie, and he's just got a minigun mowing down a helicopter
attack chopper.
Yeah, maybe on a train.
It looks like a train.
You're like, oh yeah, man, I'm here.
Oh yeah.
And some good hand-to-hand, and then just shit blowing up.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah,
that's
what
all
do you need?
fucking
Tits, ass, and shit blowing up, dude.
Bingo.
Fucking
Oscar-winning movie right there.
Oscar-winning movie right there.
The shocker.
Yeah, I was going to say for the people that can't see us, which is everybody but us, we threw up the shocker when we said the Oscars. Welcome to the 97th annual Shockers Oscars. Last trailer, Secret Invasion, bitch.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it looked really good.
Yeah.
I think, which we got to talk about it more, which kind of ties back into going to Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War.
Yeah, it's got those vibes of, like, the espionage and the distrust.
Yeah.
Which is built into the Skrulls. You know, I do wonder if they'll pull a Winter Soldier, where, like, Winter Soldier was, it turns out a lot of people you thought you could trust were Hydra. Or they're going to go, it turns out a lot of people that you thought you could trust were Skrulls.
Yeah.
And I think that's the natural thing to do there. Of, like, I do want us to have, somebody that we've seen in a lot of movies be a Skrull.
What if it's
Martin Freeman's character?
No.
Maria Hill?
No. Oh no, I think he died. Agent
Coulson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he died in the first Avengers movie.
Oh yeah, he does.
Gets killed by Loki.
Loki, yeah.
I think he dies. I'm like, yeah, in over 10 years ago.
I don't know, man.
So I mean, you were correct.
Yeah.
He did die. But no, I think because Martin Freeman, I didn't know he was going to be in this.
Neither did I, so I did see him in the trailer. But no, I don't feel like he's a Skrull.
Because, I mean, last we saw him was at the end of Black Panther when he's getting arrested by Elena or Allegra de Fontaine or whatever. And then he gets rescued by the Wakandans.
Yeah.
Fucking, maybe there's a Skrull that's infiltrated Wakanda. Right?
Yo. Who could it be, though? How would they
Martin
get in?
Freeman. I'm saying maybe he's a Skrull.
Oh.
And he's gained the trust of the Wakandans, the most advanced civilization on Earth.
That'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see.
I can't take full credit for that. I saw somebody on TikTok, I don't recall which one, who's like a Marvel person.
I hope he would be a good Skrull, though.
I don't know. I kind of want somebody to be a bad guy, like a double agent.
He's just been in so much, and he's helped so much.
Yeah, you know, that's part of the plan. Yeah, that's part of the. What? He's a bad guy? You know what I mean? What the? Fuck you.
Cut
dude.
it out.
No way. I am excited to see Nick Fury kind of carry a project. I always think about his fucking action scene in The Winter Soldier in the SUV.
Yeah.
That's dope. Him driving that fucking thing. Come on.
We see that with the pink guy.
Yeah.
Driving right next to him.
Yeah. But, yeah. And he looks like he's not going to wear his eye patch for most of it.
Which I'm here for.
Yeah,
I'm standing for it.
Yeah, I like it. Not a lot to say. It doesn't. It just looks like an espionage film.
Yeah.
Or show.
Still
it's going to be a series.
Hidden.
Yeah, which I think is part of the
whole
point,
spiel.
Right. Doesn't look super, like we were talking high octane action. It does seem like it's going to rely more on the...
I feel like it's going to be a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm cool with.
Yeah.
Slow burns, in a way, I think are better.
Mm-hmm.
More impactful.
Yeah. I think there's a place for both high octane and like a slow burn.
Like John Wick.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm ready to talk about.
Yeah, that was a good segue. That was a good jump naturally.
It's almost like we've been doing this for over a year.
Some might say.
So starting at the top here like we do with the Rotten Tomatoes score. 94% across the board. It's got a 94 for both the audience and the, what do you call those people? Critics. And the IMDb score is an 8.3 out of 10. Domestically at the box office, it did a 122.8 million, and worldwide 244, so it doubled its box office worldwide. And it's on a budget of 100 million, so it's made its money back.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised that it's $100 million.
Yeah. I thought it would have...
Because the John Wick movies don't necessarily need to be high budget, I don't think.
I think it's high budget with a lot of the scenery.
Yeah, location.
That's where I think the high dollar comes in.
You got a summary over there, a synopsis? I saw you pulling it up while I asked you.
I had it pulled up since we started fucking recording.
Jesus Christ, my guy.
What?
I can get your shit together.
John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table, but before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with a powerful alliance across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes.
There you go, that's the movie.
Yeah. That is, which actually...
Did its job. The synopsis did its job. It summarized the film for us. Were you pulling up the cast?
No, keep talking.
All right. Which we do actually have a pretty decent cast in this thing. Let me pull up the cast list here, because... it's pretty deep, if you know what I'm saying. What are you pulling up over there? What are you doing? You fat, skinny piece of shit.
Did you call me a fat, skinny piece of shit?
Yeah. Where you going, string bean? You ever seen that video from Whitest Kid You Know? Fucking the true story behind Abe Lincoln getting shot, and it's just that he was being a piece of shit at the theater, talking during the play.
I can't wait to make up this point. All right.
To make up this point?
Or to make this point.
Oh, okay. I like you act like you're headed into a debate.
A little bit. Congressman.
Senator.
Yeah.
No, Keanu Reeves is Jonathan Wick. Lawrence Fishburne is the Bowery King. The Elder is played by George, but I can't pronounce the last name. It looks like George with an IOU at the end. So Giorgio, maybe? I'm not certain.
Is that the same guy who plays Hank in Detroit Become Human, the Elder?
No.
Oh.
No, the Elder was the head of the table that he pops out in the middle of the desert.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is like the opening scene.
Yeah. And then let's see. Obviously, Lance Reddick, this is his final film. Obviously, reprising the role as the concierge Sharon. Mm-hmm. And then Clancy Brown is who you're thinking of.
Yes.
Is the Harbinger. Obviously, we got Ian McShane back as Winston. Fucking Bill Skarsgård as Marquis. Mm-hmm. Donnie Yen is Kane in this.
Okay.
And then let's see here. Hiroyuki Sanada is Shimazu, which is the guy who runs Osaka.
Yep. What's the actress that plays his daughter?
That's what I was trying to see here. Is his daughter Mia?
Yes.
Amy Kwan.
Amy Kwan.
Yeah.
What about Nobody?
That's so they have him actually listed. That's interesting. So Shamir Anderson is his name. They have him listed as Tracker.
Tracker. Okay.
But
which makes sense.
Yeah, you could interchangeably.
Yeah.
Tracker and Nobody.
But what was his name?
The actor?
Yeah.
Shamir Anderson.
Shamir Anderson.
Shamier. Shamir. All right, go ahead. Spoiler-free plot thoughts, bitch. Let me have them.
Yeah, so spoiler-free plot thoughts. So the plot was, I thought, slow.
Yeah.
I thought it was slow, and then it had its hit points. Mm-hmm. And then those hit points...
I think the second act really drug for me.
Yeah.
The whole middle portion was kind of a... Okay.
There was a couple times I was looking at my watch.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, all right, how long? We got 30 minutes left in this film. You know,
right.
Like, it's got to start picking up.
Yeah. Now, I do think there's a piece of that for me that I can't really solve for them, of like, it is a 3-hour movie, nearly, but I don't know, like, I don't know what I would cut, because a lot of the...
Like, it didn't
you
show...
have to do this, to do that, to do this.
Yeah, it didn't show anything that was, like, unnecessary.
No. It just was oddly... Not oddly paced. I think the problem they run into is action scenes are really long, and then it feels like it slows way down.
Way the fuck down.
Into exposition.
Which is a hard thing to do, especially since it is so, fast-paced, and then it just cuts.
And then it comes way down.
Yeah. As far as location, it felt very similar to 3 to me.
Okay.
Just because of, like, a lot of the blue, pink, purple neon lights.
Yeah.
Played a big role in the third one.
Yeah.
Because colors have always kind of played a big role. So, like, in the first one, like, that teal blue.
Right, yeah, we kind of talked about that last week with Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. So, you know, with that playing such a big role, the second one was big on the purple, blue. The third one was big on orange and red. Mm-hmm. That was the big one. So this one's kind of going back to a lot of the similarities of the second one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily visually distinct.
Yeah, I feel like as far as that I guess it doesn't really do with plot, but
yeah, it's fine.
Just a beginning thought I had.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, I think I kind of reiterated there with you that the second act was the really slow part for me. Mm-hmm. There were it kind of just drops you in, which isn't a bad thing for me. It's just a thought I had. I
think with the way that it left off in the third one, you needed to like there's no slow bring in.
Yeah, you figure the third one ends with him broken, and this just cuts to him having been fixed. Yeah, right. I did straight up forget that he lost a finger. Mm-hmm. You know,
it is a very forgetful thing
because it's not made a big deal. But I was like, that man's missing a finger.
I want to go through because it's like you don't notice it in any of the action scenes. So
it doesn't really play a part.
I'm curious.
But I mean, it's a ring finger. So as far as his fighting techniques, it doesn't really. I mean, he can hold a pistol. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's most of his combat. Yeah. Is gun fu. You know. I mean, that's what they call it on the. That's something I can say. I do think the action benefits heavily from Keanu Reeves doing the training to learn the gun fu and all the different martial arts that they use. And
He's
the
done
gun
that for all the movies.
Yeah. Because of the way you can shoot it, you don't have to hide a double or anything like that.
So everything that you're seeing is him.
Is him doing the choreography. I do know that you mentioned to me that you thought some of the choreography was a bit projected.
And that's something that I noticed in the third one as well. But that one wasn't as noticeable. But as a movie expertise like myself, I was just able to kind of look at it and go, "Ooh, that looked pretty." Watching them set up for it, but in this one, there were many times I caught them like
hit their mark.
And it was just like
set and action.
Yeah.
And then they break into the.
And I didn't like that too much, but then again, there were a lot of things that I found that weren't like that. That had a really smooth choreography to it.
Yeah, for me, I never felt that. So I don't think it was like blatantly obvious. You know what I mean?
He's not on my level.
Well, I do think that there might be a part of you going into it that wanted to be critical of the movie only because you knew you had a bias towards the film.
Sure, but I think I looked at that more of I noticed it in the last one, so I'm curious if I'm going to notice it in this one. And I did.
I will say I was bored in 3. Like, I fell asleep in the middle of 3 when I watched it here at home. And I didn't find myself as bored in this one.
There was a lot more going on.
Yeah.
I don't want to say higher stakes.
Yeah.
Because, like, all the stakes are high in them.
Yeah.
But it just felt like more impactful.
Mm-hmm. And I think we talked about it last night, and this kind of leads us into the character stuff. I do think that John Wick is the weakest link in the John Wick movies at this point. Yeah,
we're both more interested in the world.
The world and a lot of the other characters in the world just versus him.
The Continental in general and the high table. Yeah. I would love to see something about the politics behind the high table.
The high table. And so, I mean, give some of your character and chemistry thoughts, and then we can kind of keep, bounce off and forth on that.
Yeah, so as far as Winston and John Wick going, because, I mean, a lot of the character chemistry is going to be with John Wick.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I was a little upset, and I know I told you, and I'm not sure if this counts as spoiler. No, because it's from the third one.
It's from the third one.
John and Winston are pretty just tight.
Yeah.
After he shoots him multiple times and he falls off a 12-story building. So I'm a little concerned on they came back and were like, my man, good to see you. Yeah. So I feel like they didn't really properly deal with that in a way.
I think they're at there is a I'm trying to think of the word occupational understanding.
Sure.
Because even between and that's from the first film as well. Between the assassins and hitmen and things like that, there's an occupational understanding of is just work. It's just business.
Yeah, don't take it personally.
It's not personal. And I think there's a level of that between Winston and John of like, what was Winston supposed to do there?
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess that makes a lot of other sense when it comes to some of the other characters that we'll be talking about within it. And there's a distinct quote I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see more of the tracker in John Wick. I really liked the chemistry that they had because in the beginning, you kind of learn why the tracker's on John Wick.
Yeah.
And it's in a very mysterious way. They just left so many open-ended questions, which I guess isn't bad.
Yeah, well, and that does kind of tie into a thought I had about the characters, which is that I kind of used the phrase last night with you. There was a lot of like backdoor piloting of characters in this movie, I felt, where it was like, we're going to throw a lot of interesting characters at the wall and leave their stories relatively open-ended to see if, who do they, because you figure they're making the ballerina spinoff. Who else could we potentially follow or pick up with or get backstory on, right?
Which is what I really want to see because I enjoy the tracker's little to none backstory more than I enjoy John Wick.
Yeah,
like because his character and his story arc is pretty cut and dry.
Yeah,
his wife dies and someone did him wrong, and he's just been on a path of pain since.
Yeah, well, and I do think John Wick kind of ends up becoming his own weakness in this movie, as far as like there's like this. He's been mythologized through these movies of like, he's John fucking Wick, know? And it's like, okay, he's unstoppable, right? Is how it kind of starts to feel. And you kind of talked about it last night with the coat.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that.
I mean, you can go ahead and talk. That's not a spoiler.
Dude, this fucking, I think it's introduced in the third one.
Yeah. Second or third.
Yeah, he's got this.
Because he goes to the sommelier in the second one. I don't know if that's where he gets that jacket or not.
He does get it in the second one because he gets it before he goes into
like that rave.
Yeah, and they're all talking about. He's talking about like almost as a menu of like desserts and everything. Yeah. Bingo. But I just don't like it because I feel like he's got that jacket. You can't kill him.
Right.
Bullets are nothing because he just raises that up and
I like
he's
that
invincible.
It's so bulletproof that you see sparks coming off of their jackets at times.
Yeah, like compared to the second one where he does get shot with it and it knocks him on his ass.
Yeah, like it catches, like a bulletproof vest, it catches the bullet, but it knocks you down.
And
it still has the impact.
That was another problem I did have with it is because it wasn't just for him. It felt like everybody had that. So it's no longer special or unique. But then like even all the guards that are coming after him, they have like this metal plating on. So they obviously they look different. You can, tell them out. But it just felt like he's shooting these people and they're getting knocked over. Yeah. But then they'll get back up and then he has to do hand-to-hand combat instead. And it's like, well...
Yeah, I mean, it kind of does turn in... Yeah. There's scenes where it becomes a bit ridiculous, where you've got two people standing in front of each other, holding their coat up like Dracula, just firing bullets at each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're standing...
And they're standing like 6 feet apart.
Yeah, and they're just... and no one's dying.
And no one's... Yeah, and just like, nothing's happening. It's like, is this supposed to be cool?
Shoot him in the leg. Shoot him in the stomach where he's exposed.
Right, or at that rate, just tackle him and go hand to hand.
Yeah.
Right? Why are you wasting time shooting at him that close of a range?
Bullets.
Yeah.
We could become hitmen. I think we would have this shit down lock.
Especially if we could get a jacket like that.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's game, that's game point, kids. Like, fucking...
What did we say? Because we saw it last night, and I came right from work, and it's a white collar job, so I wore my jacket.
You showed up looking like you were cosplaying.
One ticket, please.
You look like the kid that shows up to Star Wars as a Jedi.
Yeah. What movie will you be seeing?
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
You know what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you know why I'm here.
But what do we say? I'm John Whack.
John Whack, yeah.
But it's the off-brand.
Yeah.
But no,
it's great value brand, John Wick.
I really didn't like that.
Just equate,
Creep at you.
Yeah.
But no, so that was a big problem for me. I didn't like something I did like because I have been bashing on it since we started talking about it. The camera effects or the visuals,
the cinematography.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which we got to talk. You were the one who mentioned it. If you want, I'll let you talk about it. Cause I'll just feed off of it.
Talking about the framing of that one specific scene.
Yep.
Do you think that falls into spoilers? We'll just say there's a scene that is shot very creatively. That like
we'll talk about
in a way that genuinely like I smiled.
Yeah, I was like, this is
cool.
This was a step in the right
something
direction.
Definitely needed because The premise itself is not unique as far as the premise of the film and the action itself. And a lot of the action does get samey. I made the comment last week or the week prior of like, it's, fist fight this guy for a while and then put 2 shots in his chest, 1 in his head. You know, I might do a fancy reload and then shoot a guy in the head on the ground after I've reloaded. You know what I mean? Things like that. It's basically, it's you've seen John Wick. His fighting style doesn't change too much. And there's always like there's the new thing, you know, like the nunchucks, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Oh, that's something we haven't seen before. I think in the third one, it was maybe the axes / knives in the, when he like builds the pistol in that room and there's all the bladed weapons on the wall, you know, that was kind of okay, this is different.
Yeah.
Right. As well as skill sets where it's like, oh, now he's on a horse. You know what I mean?
You're right.
And that is just a piece of, okay, what's the new thing that we can teach Keanu Reeves to do?
Right.
To go, check that shit
that's
out.
New.
You know? But this scene does a very good job of...
Do we want to rate the movie real quick? And then dive into spoilers?
Yeah. We'll just...
And at that point, we'll just have free reign?
Yeah. How do we rate stuff?
So you know how we fucking rate it here, baby.
What if they don't, though?
I'll fucking tell you right now.
Then I'll describe that shit.
You can be overwhelmed, which means you thoroughly enjoyed the film. Yep. Your expectations were surpassed. You can be underwhelmed, where your expectations weren't quite met, or you didn't really like the film. Or you can always meet in the middle and be simply whelmed.
Speaking of this scene in particular, it is late in the film.
Oh, we didn't say if we were over, under, or simply whelmed.
Oh, yeah, we did. You want a 3, 2, 1 it, or you want to go first?
3, 2, 1.
Simply underwhelmed. Were you?
I was very underwhelmed. I think big letdown.
Yeah, I would say. I think for you, and we are in the minority, like we talked. I mean, everything I've read online is like gas. You know, but I do think for you, it's a hard thing because you are. I was
so emotionally invested from the beginning, and I wanted to see more growth because I understand like a lot of it's going to be the same, and so like I just feel like progressively over time. Like, it just got worse. Like, the first one I think is the best one. The second one I think is good. The third one I was like, I
mean, it's a classic diminishing return.
Right. But I was just really hoping that the fourth one would be something totally
like an uptick.
Yeah. And it wasn't.
Yeah. And then I think part of why I classify it for myself as simply whelmed is I didn't have super high expectations. You know what I mean? And it kind of delivered on those expectations.
There were things that you liked, there was things that you didn't like, so it balanced out, which makes sense.
I'm not mad I saw it. You know what I mean?
I know I'll buy it on disc because I have the trilogy already, so I need to have the fourth one. Morgan got me the marker for the holidays.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck are you?
Last year?
Is this a hand puppet? What is this?
No, it's the Blood Oath marker that you have to have. It's in my desk somewhere. I gotta fucking find it. I just found my Continental coin.
Oh yeah,
yeah, dude. That thing's so fucking gas. That thing. I want so much John Wick merch, like of just the Continental.
This scene that we were trying to dance around,
yes,
that I do think is the highlight of the film for me. From like a towards the end of the film, the premise is set up of like John's just got to survive until sunrise, but there's just been a very high bounty placed on his head, and a call's been placed to like everybody go find this guy and kill him. And so it's kind of similar to what is that, John Wick 2 when he gets excommunicated?
Excommunicado.
Yeah.
Or no, that would have been 3 because he killed the guy in the Continental in the second one, and then 3 is the repercussions of that.
It's not 2 when he's walking down the street and everybody's cell phones are going off? Because he gets excommunicated at the end of 2.
Right, and then in the third, no, because at the end of 2, he is excommunicado, but then Winston tells him, "I've deemed it not to be," and then it leaves you off on the cliffhanger of he's like, "You got until midnight," and then that's where Parabellum picks up is you're following,
him
what's
running.
going on,
So
literally, again, same setup as the third one,
you're
just picking up on him of what's going on next with everyone after him,
so. Yeah, so basically all these people are going to go get him, right, in Paris. And like I said, he's got to make it until sunrise, so he's just running through Paris, changing mode of transportation. I did think it was a really good act. Like, again, this is the start of the third act for me.
Yeah.
And the action was great. I liked the the transitioning between areas and that they're literally just marking it on a map as well. Like, okay, now he's headed to the Arc de Triomphe, you know, and he's in the roundabout at the Arc de Triomphe, and there's just
it's just mayhem.
It's just mayhem
it's
in the largest roundabout I've seen.
Which is another question that comes to my mind of, again, more of the lore behind the world itself. Because we know from the first one that the police are aware of
or at least some of them.
Yeah, are aware of the Continental and how that exactly works. Because in that big roundabout, I mean, people were getting in car crashes, getting wrecked, getting thrown
Hitting
on cars,
people.
running people over. Like, it was a big scene. So I am curious of...
Where are all the cops at?
What does that happen? And do you have a position where it's like, okay, we need to get the police involved with somebody like John Wick?
Yeah.
You know, why hasn't that been instituted yet?
Right.
And that's... I would like to know more about that.
I did really... Yeah, that's it. I don't have anything for that. I agree with you. I really enjoyed the concept of the radio DJ.
Yeah.
Well, so the music was genuinely... I forget, there's a specific word for that type of soundtrack that, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy has probably popularized it most recently, but where the music actually exists inside the film and acts on the film.
They were playing the song Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones, and John crashes that car crashes into the bus, and John's sitting on top of the car because he got hit by it, and you hear the
like muffled,
I see your window, you know, and he's like,
and the volume changing as he gets closer and further from the source.
I did like that a lot.
And, you know, so she's basically giving call-outs over the radio.
Yeah. This one goes out to you, Mr. Wick.
Yeah. You know, she's like, John Wick's at the fucking Arc de Triomphe. Everybody get him, you know? And he's like... But it leads him to going into, like, an abandoned apartment building, it seems like.
Yeah.
And there's these guys who have... shotguns with dragon's breath.
Yeah,
shells,
that was cool.
Which are the incendiary bird shot, basically.
Buckshot.
and he is just
flaming
people. But so he gets into some, you know, John Wick hand to hand, then gun fu and all that, and it transitions into the camera getting on a crane and lifting up.
Yeah, because we've seen, especially from like the first and second one, where it phases through the walls.
Yeah,
but we haven't seen what you were saying of like that crane lifting it up,
and
giving it that eagle eye.
And it did kind of really remind me of, there's that John Wick video game called like John Wick Hex or something like that. That's turn-based combat, and it is a top-down view. And as well as Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
Of just that top-down, you know, building clearing.
Yeah.
But so it was a really interesting way to watch John Wick action from top down, you know, kind of depersonalize it a little bit. And you get to see, like, oh, they're coming around behind him. And you kind of have more knowledge than he does situationally. And it was really creative. And then, like, it was a little disorienting at times, seeing the camera, like, spin around and change angle.
One of the things I wanted to say, and I know I started to tell you about it last time, last night, and I was like, I gotta wait. Is what I really liked about it is because a lot of it was he was running into a room. There's two guys in there. He's, you know, takes those two guys out, and then he's got to turn
a little bit.
So instead of like getting confused of where he's at, how far he's making it in, it does help with that top down view. You know, being able to see him go in, backtrack, and kind of like see all where he's going.
Right.
And just to make it out.
I think the dragon's breath helped in that scene as well, of like seeing who he's shooting at, you know, and keeping track of everything. Yeah. Because the bullets literally are on fire. You know what I mean?
It's just easier to see him.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it helped in that scene of like, okay, he's aiming that direction. And these, you know, firing that way.
Yeah, that was a very pretty cinematography. Cinematic scene. Excuse me, my goodness.
And the tracker is kind of following close behind in that building, and you know, to see him kind of picking off.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the tracker.
Yeah.
As a character throughout.
Yeah. So let's just start off with what can I?
Yeah.
I think I got this shit
down
packed of what the tracker is.
You say packed or pat?
Huh?
You say you got it down packed?
I'm
pretty sure it's down pat.
I got this packed. Like I got this down packed.
I don't think that's the expression.
Like it's like a bag. Like it's packed. Like I got it. I got this down packed.
I don't think that's the expression.
That's how I'm going to say it.
That's what I'm using. And I'm curious, like, which one of us has been saying it wrong? Have you always said it that way, or is this something?
No. I've got this down packed. I mean, it makes sense.
To have something down pat. To have something memorized perfectly.
Thanks, everybody, so much for fucking listening, I guess.
So hold on. Somebody says, is it down pat or down packed? But it's P-A-C-T. Let's see. Yeah, it's down pat. P-A-T.
I'm going to keep saying it the way I fucking say it.
You go for it, baby.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. You'll just be wrong, but
Yeah, fuck
fine.
you.
Yeah.
I got this down packed.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you.
All right.
I'm it.
All right, man. Just relax.
I got this down packed. I got a hunch just from, because we really don't know anything about the tracker.
No.
Besides of what
He's a guy who likes money and has a dog and is good at killing people.
No.
And tracking them.
Correct. So
That's the name.
With the tracker, we see that he has this notebook. In the very beginning, he's drawing everything. He's drawn John Wick's face.
Yeah.
And he's drawn a bunch of other faces that we've seen. So I'm curious if he isn't necessarily part of the Continental.
Yeah.
But
he's not really part of that world.
Right.
But he's like an interloper.
Right. But he's able to kind of get his way in because even with the lady at the Osaka Continental who tells him...
her name was? The actress was Amy. Mia. Yeah.
But her character, Mia, said that, like, there's no dogs allowed.
Yeah.
Which obviously, if you were in the Continental, you would fucking know that. But it's interesting because dogs were allowed in the New York Continental.
Yeah.
So I'm curious.
That's maybe more of a U.S. thing.
And he was
because it was the Osaka.
Mm-hmm. And so maybe there could be that. But in those, in that notebook that you see him flipping through a lot of the pages, and you see a symbol for like safe houses, what the Continental is, everything like that. They kind of help
notes
him
where he's learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if like
something drew him into the world.
The secret society known as the Continental.
Yeah.
And he's kind of slipped his way in of knowing what that is, and then from there being able to shimmy his way into that a part of this secret society.
Yeah.
And I think that's very interesting, very intriguing, and I want to know more because I want to know what happens, because he does make a deal with Marquis, which we'll talk about later on, to the point of like, does this mean he's officially in the Continental?
Right, yeah.
And if not, what are the certain regulations that you have to have to be in the
Is he under the table?
Dude, I can fucking talk about this all goddamn day. Like, of how interesting the lore behind the world is. The chemicals in the water.
I don't know why you sound like you were mad at me. You're like, I could just fucking talk about this all day. I'm like, do it, man. I could talk about this all day. Like, but we won't.
But we won't.
Yeah, we will not do that. We're not going to do The Last of Us and talk for 2 hours about only that.
We just need to start making our episodes longer.
Man.
I'm going to fucking lose it.
We're going to give you some fucking testosterone cream, you know?
I just got a bunch of like their caffeine patches all lined up on my arm.
Your fucking
have
voice
you seen Meet the Robinsons?
And your balls are small.
like raisins.
Yeah, like you've been taking fucking bull shark testosterone. You're just fucking...
I got a roid gut.
Yeah, you're raging, you're puffy, your nuts are all shriveled, but by God, you've got hair on your head.
Good morning, primals! Liver King!
Holy fuck, what were you saying?
I don't even know. Oh, that we're going to start making our episodes longer.
I don't think that's what we were saying. That's what you were saying.
Gets the people going. No.
I'm getting dizzy. You were talking about the tracker?
Yeah.
Slipping in.
Yeah, so I think...
Slipping it in.
Yeah, so he's slipping it in with his, the Continental. I just think that's super interesting, and I do hope that there's a spin-off of that, because I want to see that actor and that character and more.
Yeah. And then Kane is another introduced character in this. Yeah. Donnie Yen.
No,
I love Donnie Yen in general.
Is Donnie Yen actually blind?
No.
Really?
Yeah, but he plays blind as both Cherub in
Rogue One,
and then as Kane in this.
Kane, which was what I thought at first. Like, is he actually blind? And if so, I was like, dude, he's impressive. He's killing this choreography.
Yeah,
blind, man. Like, he's got
this
shit down packed.
He's got this shit down pat, you said?
Packed.
You said pat, though, which means you know it's right.
No. I can know it's right, but I don't have to accept it.
That's true. People do it every day.
Yeah.
You were asking me about Donnie Yen. No, he's not blind.
No. Yeah, okay.
But he's kind of an interesting guy where it seems like he's been out of the game for a little bit.
For a while.
Yeah, because like he's got like some facial hair. He definitely looks like a dude who's just vibing.
Just a dude.
Right, yeah, he's a guy that's just duding, you know? And then Marquis calls him up, who is played by our boy Billy Skarsgård, and it's just like, yo, like, I need you to kill John Wick. And he's like,
he says no.
At first he's like, yeah, sorry, I can't do it. And he's basically like, I'll kill your daughter.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, sorry, John, you know. Which makes sense. I mean, yeah, that's the whole point of those deals is you got leverage that is, irrevocable leverage.
What I also, with the relationship between Kane and John, something I really do like is there is that scene where we first see Kane and John, kind of like, Kane?
He's like,
John?
John?
And they say, like, family? And he's like, family.
Yeah.
And so, like, what you were saying,
that occupational understanding.
Yeah, of, I gotta kill you, but it's not like that.
Yeah, it's not personal. Yeah, I really don't want to, but I have to.
Or else they're gonna kill my family.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing I wanted to talk about there. But no, just starting off from, I guess, the beginning fight scene at the Osaka Hotel or Continental, we get to see Kane kind of like in his fighting style.
Yeah.
Of putting
he's
up those...
He's a blind man,
right? And he's putting up
motions. Who does fight with a gun?
He does, yeah.
Which surprised me.
And
I thought he was only going to be a sword.
A cane and a sword.
Yeah.
But what he does is he, runs into the kitchen. He's able to kind of feel his way and hide. But as he's doing that, he's putting motion sensor ring doorbells.
Yeah.
And so he's sitting behind one of the fridges and he's got the gun pointed. And as soon as he hears that doorbell go off,
bing dong, he poof, pops
and starts pointing at wherever it's starting to go off.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a cool aspect of it. Of
how he adapted.
Mm-hmm.
And then just again, we get to see Donnie Yen just do martial arts, which is just what Donnie Yen does.
Yeah.
He's great with swords, pole arms. He's using his cane, and then just hand to hand. When he fucking just loads that dude up with knuckle dusters, just and then he gets him with the wind up.
I couldn't help but giggle at that.
Yeah,
like
he
that was a little ridiculous.
And then, yeah, and I thought the same thing of like, how silly was that? But then you kind of find out like Kane is kind of a goofy. He's kind of a goober.
He's just a dude.
He's a goofy goober. I'm a goofy goober. Yeah, he's a silly guy. He just does silly, goofy goober stuff.
Just a goober guy in a silly world.
Just being goofy. Killing dudes, but with a sword.
Quirky. Call me quirky.
Equals P. So fucking Hiroyuki Sanada, which is the gentleman who plays Shimazu at the Osaka. He's the manager of the Osaka.
Dude, his fucking outfit was bad. His kimono
and his glasses.
Yeah,
cut it out.
Banging.
Yeah, and seeing him fucking sword fight. First of all, just all of them in that hotel.
Yeah,
using like bow and arrow and the swords. I can't think of what the short katanas are called. Tontos?
Yes.
No.
Are you sure?
It might be Tonto.
I think it is Tonto.
Yeah, all of them fighting with the Tontos and the katana and the bow and arrow.
I liked how he had like those two sumo guys just bodyguarding and he's like, don't let those guys pass.
Kill that guy.
And they're
beefy dudes.
Big dudes.
Yeah.
Or those the group of guys who are just playing cards.
Yeah, they look like the kitchen staff, and he's like, we have guests prepared.
Prepare to serve.
Yeah, prepare for hospitality. I think is what he says. And they start opening the fridges and the freezers, and it's just
knives and
shurikens and all that. And I was like, yo,
it was badass.
Yeah, I even looked at Morgan and went, oh
fuck. I like the scene where they shoot. Who's the guy who later on kicks John down those stairs?
Yeah, seems like he's the main muscle for the Marquis.
Yeah. I don't remember his name.
I don't know that they ever really named him.
We'll call him the main muscle. Beefcake. So that's where we meet Beefcake, who's just kind of a chotch and kind of an asshat.
Looks like Chitty maybe, or Cheaty?
Cheaty?
Yeah. We'll call him Beef.
Beef, yeah, Beefcake.
Beefaroni.
That scene where they start firing the arrows
and he catches one in the air.
It hits it. It goes in his arm. Yeah, he puts his arm up in time.
Yeah, it actually punctured the Kevlar.
But then,
that was impervious.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, is it on the arms or is it just?
Nah, I think it should be the whole suit.
You sure?
I would think it would be.
There's such a big hole in that mechanism.
Well, not many.
Oh yeah,
because it's bulletproof. I've got that shit down packed, dude.
Try me. There it is. There it is.
Bingo.
You redeemed yourself.
Oh, I came around.
But then there was that scene, or in that same
off
scene.
On a merry-go-round. I came around.
Go down, get around. I'll get around.
So, anyways, what the fuck is happening?
Drive a bug on the same old street. I gotta find a new place where the kids are hip. That same scene where the arrow goes in his arm.
Yeah.
That one person gets fucking shot in the neck.
Side of the head.
I thought it was in the neck, and like because their head just.
Yeah.
And
I think it was the head, and that's why his head whipped, and it went through.
Either or. Yeah, it was stuck, and like you just saw him.
I like the daughter. First of all, whipping off her kimono and having like her battle suit on.
Yeah, that was pretty hot.
Dope. And then she's got her bow and arrow, and she pins that one guy down and just point blank draws the bow back and shoots the arrow directly into his forehead.
What was the one where they shot him right in the leg? And it got stuck in the wall.
Yeah, because John catches his leg and is like fighting with the guy, and she shoots him through the leg and it sticks him to the wall. That was dead. And then John shoots him in the face a couple times.
What was the other one that we saw that was very similar, but I can't remember what it was, but I remember that one. It was before that scene, but I was like, oh my God. I think it was the one with the neck. Or the head. Because it was just such a hard, he's dead. Like, there's no... Yeah. It felt very real.
Yeah.
In that sense of not like a Hollywood death. Like,
I was like, oh, that man died.
Yeah, like...
That man's deceased.
But yeah, so, like, I just remember that scene being so gruesome. And, like, oh my God. That... It was fucking cool.
Yeah, it was dope.
It was cool.
So, yeah. That whole fight kind of culminates in a few things. Again, all of the fight scenes in this are long. Mm-hmm. The action scenes are long.
Yeah.
Because that culminates, like I said, it has a couple climaxes to it of like, there's John fighting all the guys with the nunchucks.
Yeah.
Then fighting Kane in that same room. And then the tracker kind of breaking that fight up.
Yeah.
Because he wants John he doesn't want John to die because he wants the price to go up on John.
Yeah, he's trying to keep him alive so he can
become more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
which is a good motivator.
It's a strategy, yeah. Of like
it's a new strategy that we haven't seen where it's like that makes sense.
I don't want him dead yet because I'm going to be the one to kill him, and he's going to be worth a lot of money. And it's an interesting motivator as far as it's like the enemy of my enemy, right? Where John knows that this guy wants him dead, but is keeping him alive right now.
Keeping him alive.
So he's helping him right now.
But he doesn't ever rely or ask for his help.
No,
but he'll take it when it's there. Yeah.
Like, especially towards the end in that apartment block, when he's following along behind John, essentially,
and then they have
killing the
fight
guys.
Scene.
Fucking Osaka culminates in a few fights, but the one that for me was like, was between Kane and Shimazu.
Yeah.
Where they have like a sword fight on a bridge, like a walkway that's surrounded by water. And it made me go, this is the guy that's directing the Ghost of Tsushima movie. And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
It was a solid sword fight, especially with Kane being blind. I think there's an added thing of like, that lack of focused expression.
What's the actor who played Kane? What's his name?
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen does a really good job of like being able to his
fight without using his head.
Yeah.
To like track what he's doing.
Yeah, he does a really good job. I mean, same thing as like Charlie Cox playing Daredevil. So you just have to be able to do that, and he kills that really well.
But I think with Charlie Cox, there's a level of Daredevil's other senses are so strong that he can still
point.
Yeah, react.
But with Donnie Yen and with Kane, I mean, his arms are flailing. His head's just looking, the opposite way. Which is something I wanted to talk about because I did notice Kane used
he used a flashbang at one point.
Which was
lights out, assholes.
Yeah. But I did notice that when he was fighting, he turned his head and he just kind of leaned in a little bit, and it looked like he's just listening. He's listening for him. I mean, which again makes sense. But it was cool because you don't realize that at first. I'm like, why the fuck is he looking that way? And I was like,
he's trying to listen.
Trying to listen. He's focusing up.
Yeah. But he does end up killing Shimazu.
Yeah.
Or Shimizu. I don't know how he pronounced it.
He kind of had it coming, but he told him to stay down.
Yeah, it was an honorable thing of please stop.
Yeah, don't come at me.
Just take your daughter and go.
Yeah, you both can still live and live to tell the tale. It's believable.
I did like the line from Shimizu where he says something effective because Kane says, you don't owe John anything. He doesn't have a mark or anything on you. Just fucking go away.
Yeah.
And he says, something effective it's a sign of how far you've fallen that you don't see that there's debts outside of the business or something to that effect. Where basically, I owe him things on an interpersonal level.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, he's got something
we're
on me.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we do this for business as well, but at a certain point,
This is just loyalty.
he's my homie.
Yeah, he's my boy. My sweet baby boy.
Bitch made boy.
Bitch made boy. All right, speed through Berlin.
Yeah, so in Berlin,
He goes to Berlin to get reinitiated with his family so that he can challenge a table member, which is the Marquis, to a duel.
And they're basically like, fuck you. You've already come in. You're a wanted man, and you've ripped up your ticket.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
And then he's like, no, we got a common enemy, though, because this Marquis guy fucking blows.
Yeah,
And so,
he's
like,
kind of a dick.
well, this guy, what was his name?
I don't remember.
Big guy. I don't know.
Yeah, large. I don't remember what he is. Big man.
Gold teeth. But anyways, while you're looking that up, basically they said there's this guy named, what was it? Pyro? Pytier?
Killa. Piotr, yeah.
Piotr.
And Killa was the...
Killa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy that killed him.
Yeah. Killa.
Killed Uncle Piotr.
Yeah. And so they're like, kill this guy, bring him proof back that
proof
you
of
killed
death,
him,
yeah.
and we'll
You're
sign
like
you back
Flint.
on. So he's like,
Big fucking bet.
And so he goes up to Killa, and he's got like this cool... I'm not gonna lie, I thought that
it was
scene
pretty dope.
looked cool.
Yeah, it was good. It was nice. I don't think anything in this movie was ugly.
No, John Wick has always been able to have a
cinematography was pretty high.
Yeah, very visually pretty. But so yeah, they're doing poker, and it was funny to see them all play poker, especially Kane, because he's fucking blind.
See his cards,
he can't see anything.
but he still knows what he's got.
Yeah, he got a
What was it? 4,
3 4s and a
it was 5 hands, so he had 4 4s and a
9.
Yeah,
and John had like a pair.
Yeah, like 2 pair and like ace high.
Yeah, and then the tracker had a royal flush.
Yeah.
And then that's when the killer kind of reveals
who was the dealer.
Yeah, he had 5
of a kind. Yeah, which is not a thing, right? And so and I like that Kane's like, let me guess, 5 of a kind. And they're like, yeah.
And
he's like, he says something in Chinese to the effect of like, what a prick, cheating prick.
But then we also get to see the tracker. He has this dog, like we're talking, but it's not just any dog. If he
it's
says
an attack dog,
if he says nuts,
it goes for your nuts,
and it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Which, a quick side note, Morgan and I kept giggling at each other because we watched a behind the scenes video on YouTube for the John Wick films, and they were talking about Halle Berry training with the dogs for the third one, and that when you train those dogs for this, you don't train them to not really attack, right?
Right.
You train them to attack. But you have to train them to like, okay, your target is this green tug toy.
Yeah.
And then just tape that tug toy into the suits of the people that you want, where you want the dog to strike, right? So there's dudes with green tug toys just pasted over their genitals. And this dog, you have to be the stunt guy who's got hope in this padding, right?
That person doesn't get paid enough.
And this dog just is attacking your genitals, full strength. I want to get it. That's my whole job.
Just doesn't get paid enough.
So every time this dog went for someone's dick and nuts, Morgan and I were like, boof. There's a stuntman behind that dog's bite going, oh, please.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like that is a scary thing. I do think it's interesting how we look at dogs. And like they could kill us very easily.
Yeah, some of them
two of the 4 dogs we have here could kill us.
Yeah, one much more easier than the other.
Sure. Yeah, that would be terrifying.
Yeah.
But so I really like that, again, like just more about the character of the tracker. Like, I'm just so fascinated with him. I want to see more of him, and I hope that we do.
Yeah.
But then we do see it starts to come out towards the end where we started talking about it earlier, that radio host, and he's trying to get to this church because they do come to
Paris.
Yeah. So real quick, I'll just give it a rundown. They blow up the Continental in New York.
Yes.
They excommunicado that whole hotel.
Yeah.
So that's done. Winston's no longer manager.
Sharon is killed. Lance Reddick's character.
Yeah, like
pretty
quick,
early on. And it was like, I was like, oof.
Woof.
I wasn't expecting him to pass so early, but
I didn't see a rest in peace.
loving memory of or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, they might not have had time. You figure he passed away after the premiere of the film.
That's true.
Like the red carpet premiere. So I mean, yeah, they probably didn't have time to.
That makes sense. But so yeah, his character passes or gets shot. Winston's no longer manager, and then we find out that
Marquis?
No, Morbius. What's his name?
Yeah, King. He's the
King.
Yeah,
Kane is expanding, and he's expanding from New York to Paris, which honestly looks pretty cool. Fucking cool, because he's got this subway.
Yeah, he's got the underground.
But he's got a functioning train on there that like looks exclusive to him.
Yeah.
Which that looks pretty cool. So he's helping John out and Winston get everything. And then
Winston has the bright idea to challenge the Marquis to a duel.
Because he tells John, don't just kill him to your advantage. Right? So tell him, you'll do him in a duel, and like if you win, this is what you get. Yeah. And if you die, then no harm, no foul. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Solves his problem.
Winston goes in there to talk to him
be his second.
for John.
And saddles up with John.
And he goes, he wants his freedom. And if John said...
Well, no, he doesn't say he goes as his second.
He damn near says
I mean, all but. Yeah, he's like, as his second, you will reinstate the Continental, you will repair it, and all that.
At the table's expense.
Yeah, at the expense of the table. And he's like, all right,
he says, deal. Yeah, he says, fine.
Like when they all meet to agree on terms, and he mentions that, and John kind of looks at Winston like...
Yeah, when was that talk? And Winston's like, I don't know, man. Yeah, pretty cool. Hey,
like, yeah, you sent me, man. I did
There's always an angle.
Yeah.
But so, that happens, and then it's at dawn.
And Marquis plays the dirty role, the dirty little deed, and says, all right, I want to nominate someone in my place.
Yes. Because he can do that.
Because he can do that as the challenged. And he nominates Kane. And they agree that it's going to be dueling pistols at sunrise at this church.
And Beefcake comes up to Marquis and was like, why this blind guy?
Yeah.
And he makes the good point of like, John's got nothing to lose. He's got no home. He's got no family. And he's excommunicado.
Yeah.
This guy has a daughter.
For anything.
Right.
Yeah.
This guy's got something to fight for. He's got a daughter. He's got a life. And he's got, I think, something
he's got
else.
shit to live for and shit to kill for.
Yeah, that's what it was. He's got something to live for, something to die for, and something...
Yeah.
Something to live for, something to die for.
Something worth dying for.
Something worth dying for.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Something like that.
Either way, he's got a lot more reason to fight than John.
Which is a valid,
it's
a smart play, honestly.
Because that's been an ongoing thread through the movie. It's like the worst thing that can happen to John is like he won't find peace until he's dead.
No,
right? Because there'll always be something to fight against, right?
Yep. And then Kane and John end up fighting, shooting each other, and they both hit each other.
There's the stairs that I think is worth noting.
Yeah. So he's bouncing around all through,
trying to get to the church before sunrise.
Yeah, which is at like what they said, like 6:03 or something.
And he gets to the stairs at the base of this church, and there's 222 stairs.
Yeah. And he fights his way all the way to the top, just hustling and bustling,
shooting all kinds of guys, rolling around on the ground, fisticuffing, and then
he gets to the top, and Beefcake's up there and is like, "Hey yo!" and then
kicks him in the chest and sends him rolling all the way down the stairs. And there was a bit of physical comedy in that, of like
he's still going.
Yeah, and it they just show him falling down on every single stair,
every flight,
and you're like,
dude, so real quick. He does end up killing Killa. We haven't talked about that part yet.
Yeah.
So he does end up killing Killa and takes his teeth. But in that scene, just real quick, Killa throws him over a ledge that's like easily 5 stories.
I don't know if it's that tall, but it is a pretty high. That'd be 50 feet.
Easy. Yeah.
I don't think it was a 50-foot drop.
You don't think it was 50 feet?
If it was 50 feet, he'd be dead. He'd splat.
He also fell down a 12-story building and lived.
Right. But he broke his fall on objects, right?
He broke
on the way down, like
stairs,
an awning and then
stairs and a truck.
Yeah.
He got dropped off that and then ended up killing Killa, so he's good through there.
When he kills Killa, he knocks him over the edge, and he falls head first on stairs.
Yeah. John finally gets there, gets kicked all the way down the stairs, and then Kane comes up and goes, John, you got to fight.
Yeah,
You can't.
We got to get up these stairs.
Yeah, and so Kane actually kind of helps him
get up there, get to their fight.
And I feel like that was a moment where we see more of the
friendship level of loyalty.
Yeah, when what's his name? The father.
Kane?
No,
the father.
Mia's dad of the Continental in Osaka.
What did I say? Was it Shimizu?
Shimizu.
Yeah.
When Shimizu says that to him, I feel like in there we see a little bit of Kane being like,
he's my friend.
He's my friend.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta help him get up there.
Yeah.
So they get up there, they start dueling. They got these cool like single
the dueling pistols.
Yeah. And they walk 30 paces away from each other, turn
fire
around.
at each other. They both graze each other like in the arm.
Mm-hmm. And then they got to walk 10 steps.
Paces. Yeah. So it's at 20 paces.
And then they shoot each other and keep doing it.
They hit each other like one in the side, one in the collarbone.
Yeah. And then
fucking 10 paces.
10 paces, and
And they kind of share a moment of like, what was the expression? Something to the effect of like
consequences.
Well, yeah, but then he who, holds closest to life is nearest to death.
Yeah.
Which I felt was like somehow they came to the agreement of like, don't kill me.
Yeah.
Shoot me, but do not kill me. and it's fire.
Yeah.
And John doesn't fire his pistol and gets a pretty nasty shot to the guts.
Yeah.
Which is typically not good.
No, because by innards and what is it, septic shock?
Perforate the bowel and you've got shit in your guts. Yeah. That's not good.
He survived worse, but
yeah. And the Marquis is like,
he's down. Let me take the final shot.
Let me take the final shot. Yeah, I want to put him down.
And then Kane's like, "Am I free to go? Like, is my daughter
safe
free
and everything?"
He's like, "Yeah, get out of here." Dude.
Oh, when he comes up and when they first go to, was it their second shot? He's like, "Fucking kill him," Like,
yeah. And Marquis comes up to him and goes, "Think about your daughter." And
he goes,
"Fuck off." Dude, that part had me rolling.
Fuck off,
dude.
Yeah, you're like, but yeah, and the Marquis rolls up and is like, yeah, fine, whatever, just give me the gun. And he goes stepping up to John and is, giving his little, I am French and evil, fuck you. And fucking Winston's like, you stupid putz.
Yeah.
He calls him like an arrogant fuck.
Yeah, and he goes,
like,
what? And he goes, he hasn't fired yet.
John just fucking
right between the eyes. And then he falls over and what's his name?
The tracker?
The guy who plays Hank in Detroit Become Human.
The Harbinger.
Yeah, the Harbinger kind of comes up, looks at
the
Marquis, and he's like,
"Boof,
John, you're free.
John, you won.
Enjoy your freedom, I guess." Yeah. And then he's like, "Kane, your daughter's free." So
yeah, everybody kind of like, "Boof, man." But I mean, he kind of told the Marquis a few times, like checked him a little bit of like, "You're gonna shake some fucking cages, and you're not gonna like what you get."
Yeah. And then after that, John,
what does he say? You got to be careful that a man's ambition doesn't outpace his worth.
And John gets up and looks at Winston, and he's like, "Winston, will you take me home?"
And Winston's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, he's like, "I got you, baby." And he gets up and he sits down on the stairs and starts thinking about his wife, and he dies.
Yeah. And then cut to New York, and John's buried next to his wife. Mm-hmm. Her gravestone says, loving wife. It says loving husband.
And that's it.
Yeah. Roll credits.
But they left that
there is even the line, the phrasing was vague because the king asks him, like, do you think he went to heaven or hell? And he's like, yeah, or where do you think he is, heaven or hell? And he goes, who knows?
Yeah.
Right?
Could be either.
Well, but doesn't even say that. He just says, who knows? Right? Yeah, it says, who knows where he's at.
Right, just because he hasn't confirmed for a fifth one. I'm curious.
And so Lionsgate is like, interested is like all the headlines. Lionsgate very interested, which it's made $200 million already.
Yeah, they're gonna want to make another one.
And Chad Stahelski has said like not against it, right? Not opposed to it. Yeah, I could probably see making another one, but he's got a lot going on.
What would it be about?
That's my thing. I think your better bet would be to make something in the universe. Because, I mean, we talked about this last night. We kind of mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
I think the best part of the John Wick movies is the world, not John Wick.
Not John Wick. Again, like another thing that like I feel like just kind of devalued.
Because John's kind of a boring guy.
He is. And
his premise is like, he is the best.
He's not.
Right.
He's not. And like that's the thing, though, is that because in the first one, you believe that. You're like, dude, this guy's fucking
unstoppable. He's a one-man killing machine,
But then like there's so many times where it's like, if John Wick wasn't saved, he would have died. He would have died.
Which I think is important, but then I don't know. Yeah, it does kind of get flippy-floppy.
Defeats the whole purpose of like, he's not the Baba Yaga then.
Yeah.
Like what's the, because even in this one, Killa, when he's talking to him, it's like,
it's Baba Yaga.
Like, oh shit. But so, I don't know. I don't know what they would make that one about. I think, like you were saying, I think it'd just be cool to see something about
more stuff in the world.
I want to see from the second one, the hitman of the lady at the table that John killed.
Common is is the actor.
Yeah. I want to see where he's at.
Yeah.
Cuz I really liked his character.
Yeah.
That's all I got for it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
like we'll just see where it goes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was underwhelmed, but
yeah.
I'll still buy it on disc all day.
Right. and I'm still invested in the world.
Yeah, that's again the biggest part. I would like to.
Like you said, the tracker, I'd be cool with. And Donnie Yen's even been like, I would do a spin-off movie about Kane.
Yes,
and I'd love to see that. I kind of floated the idea with you of do a movie about Kane
or Mia.
And it's Mia is coming after him because he even says to her,
"I'll see you around."
Yeah, well, I'll see you like when you basically inferring like I'll see you when you come for me, you know.
Because, I mean, when you kill someone's father, they're going to gun for you.
Yeah. I will say, like, characters like Kane and Shimizu, all I could think while I was watching it was like, I'm excited to see Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Yeah, like hardcore.
Yeah. I fucking wish. I wish there was a Continental, like, IRL in the U.S. Like, somewhere, like, if there's an actual hotel where it's like the Continental, like, just the style of it.
Uh-huh.
Which is something else I want to talk about. I fucking love, and I know I talked about it in the John Wick episode, the women that are working like the communicators.
Did we do a John Wick episode?
Or we talked about John Wick.
I'm sure we have, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But the women...
Like the switchboard operators, basically.
Like their 50s like style, like but they're all
between
tatted up.
And like, yeah.
Dude, yeah, I think they all look badass.
Yeah.
No, it's hot. Yeah. It's hot.
Yeah.
But I wanted to throw that in there. It was a thought I had.
I just needed people to know that's my king.
Mm-hmm. Hey, chef, don't judge.
Yeah. That's all I got, bub.
Unless you got...
What
you been thinking about?
I was going to ask you that.
Oh, well, I beat you to it.
All right, then. I've been thinking about Resident Evil 4 remake. I've been playing that shit. I'll tell you again. I mean, I already told you off air, but like when I started it up, the difficulty was like, hey, you're new to third-person shooters, which I'm not. And then it was like, you've never played Resident Evil 4.
Which is not true.
Which is not true. I played Resident Evil 4 like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, and then the final difficulty was like, for players of, you know, Resident Evil 4 2005. And I was like, that's
Bingo.
me.
Yahtzee.
Turns out that just means really fucking hard. They were like, everything's going to be more expensive. Combat will be harder. And you're going to get your shit pushed in. And I was like, oh, good. Yeah, that's me.
And let me tell you something. Yeah, they're packing fudge.
Quickly, it got hard. And then I was like, how do I change the difficulty? And it was like, yeah, fuck you. You don't. You start over, bitch. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not starting over. I'm going to get good. Yeah. Which, like I was telling you, that's exactly what I did with Jedi Fallen Order and God of War, both of them. And I'm like, all right. I played on like the advanced difficulty and just powered through until I got it.
I remember, dude, the first God of War, I accidentally put on hard.
Yeah.
Really bad. And that sucked. Like, I couldn't kill any of the Valkyries.
Yeah.
I think I got one, as a matter of fact, and I gave up on the rest because I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Second one, I did a little better. And then Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, you played on normal.
Yeah. I think that's where I typically lie for most of the time is normal. I don't. Yeah. I try not to do easy.
Yeah.
Because that's too fucking easy.
You do easy, baby. No, so far I really enjoy the changes they've made to Resident Evil 4. It does a really good job of being... I mean, you figure it's an over 15-year-old game, right? Which is bananas to me. It's an 18-year-old game. And they're like, yeah, okay, we'll modernize it. And it does a really good job of being faithful to the original while also feeling like a new game as far as like gameplay mechanics and things like that.
I hear... No, I did not play the original Resident Evil 4, but I know that like storage was a big thing.
Yeah, like
being able to place stuff certain ways you can place it, I guess. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I saw it on Reddit.
That's not new for me. I mean,
or like, I guess it was just the mechanics of how you put stuff in. There was some things that like you wouldn't be able to rotate it in the original versus now you can, and it was pretty annoying.
I'm not sure. I do know that there's an element to this that I don't remember at all being in the original, which is crafting. As far as like bullet crafting, you could always combine like red herb and green herb makes a really strong medicinal, like first aid.
Right.
But as far as like you can find gunpowder and resources and use that to create your bullets and things like that. And that's a new level in this of like, shit, I gotta have that stuff in my inventory. You know? And so there's times where you get down to crunch time and you're like, all right, what can I craft here to try and get some space together here? Because I am running out of room.
Rapidly depleting in space.
In the original, there was something that was like the Blue Medallion Challenge, which was like, there's these blue medallions hanging all over the place. And it was like a collectible thing of getting all those medallions. In this, they kind of took that idea and just turned it into like tasks. So they're kind of like side objectives to an extent. But it's a good job of not making it like an open world. I mean, it's not like you're running around an open world. It's still pretty linear, but it's like while you're on your travels, if you can
find
if you can kill these 3 snakes and bring them to me and sell them, you'll get these little ruby pieces, right?
I like video games like that.
I do too.
Because sometimes, I mean, I enjoy an open world, like especially with like God of War, the new one.
I like the semi-open, yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool, but just
like open hub worlds, I guess.
I just like again with like Elden Ring, it's so open. It was just I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you get a little bit aimless.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm enjoying myself. I'm only a few chapters in because again, it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm having fun with it. What have you been thinking about?
She took the kids, man.
Good.
No.
Good. No,
Whoa.
good. That's honestly for the best.
Yeah, no. Fatherhood is not for me, I don't think. I've been trying to catch up on a lot of TV lately.
Oh, yeah?
I'm really struggling. Falling behind on everything. Bills.
I was going to say.
Doctor's appointments.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Dinner reservations. My life's in shambles. No.
Yeah. What you been thinking about?
Not truly. I have been thinking about shows and movies I want to watch and catch up on.
Mm-hmm. Such as?
I need to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I keep seeing some stuff about it, and some people at work keep harassing me to watch it. So
yeah, it's good.
That's what I hear, and so I'm going to buckle down and try to watch a couple episodes. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know.
Who knows, man?
Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
is another one.
Yeah.
I remember I watched the first season for it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I was in like 8th grade, and then I remember like the person. I'm not going to say her last name because I would
just change the first name.
Barbara Longbottom.
Okay.
Introduced me to Attack on Titan, and we were cool. Like we were good friends, and she was like, "Dude, when season 2 comes out, like I'll let you know." And I was like, "When season 2 comes out?" She's like, "I think in like 2 or 3 years."
You're like, oh, word.
And I was like, "Word," and I just stopped caring about it.
Yeah.
But now I guess like they're up to season 5. I think they're making
4 or 5. Yeah.
I think they're making the 5th one right now or something like that.
Yep.
Apparently it's fucking gas.
Yeah.
So I'd like to catch up on that. I'm so fucking far behind on Mandalorian. I'm
way more behind than you are.
Yeah, I'm far behind on finishing up on the Clone Wars. Then after the Clone Wars, I need to watch the Bad Batch. But I kind of have to start watching a little bit of Rebels because I want to know more about Ahsoka when that show comes out. Yeah. Because I do know, like I watched the Clone Wars as a kid.
Right.
Dude, I got so much I'm fucking thinking about.
Yeah.
I feel
like we've done this dance before.
Yeah. I need more time.
Yeah.
I need to win the lottery.
Yeah.
You know what I do need?
A work from home job, and you can have another screen up watching shows when you're not working.
You know what I do need? A tailor.
A tailor?
Because I ripped my pants.
Oh, did you?
No, it was from SpongeBob. When Big Larry came out just to put him down.
Is that all you were thinking about?
Yeah. All right. No, I'd like to catch up on TV shows. That's just been weighing on my mind.
Yeah.
Some video games. I know Dead Island comes out here soon. Dead Island 2.
Yeah, middle of April, I think.
Comes out the 21st.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get that. Labyrinthine, I know you said had a big update.
Has a big update. You still need to play that.
We still need to play that.
We should get my dad in there.
He would not be.
Can you picture my dad playing a horror game?
No,
I honestly can't. I don't know what that looks like.
We gotta try to get him in on that.
What if I just want to hear my dad get scared by a game? Be like, okay, what am I doing here? Fuck! This is fucking stupid anyways. I just need to get in and kill stuff and get out, you know?
Starfield comes out this year too.
I'm a man in a hurry.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm behind on a lot I need to catch up on.
Yeah.
But I do have a vacation coming up here. We'll be traveling, but I think I'm taking the day or 2 days early before that, so
yeah.
Try to catch up a lot then, if I'm not already caught up. That's all I got.
All right.
Oh, well, I will say, my cryptid this week, because I do have everything pulled up, I'm not going to read it, but what I will talk about next week, because we have a solar eclipse that's coming up here soon.
Oh.
I believe, as a matter of fact, the next solar eclipse we're having is in 15 days, 22 hours, 57 minutes, and 36 seconds. So, I wanted to talk about some interesting facts, legends, and cryptids behind solar eclipses, mostly back in like the 13th AD, to even branching out to some of the Incas back in the Mayan times.
Oh, yeah. Incans back in the Mayan times. Love how you just are throwing out words,
Yeah.
Just back in the 13 AD, or even in the Incan in the Mayan times.
I was going back from
throwing out words.
Because they said like the 13 AD, and then they had another one that was BC, and I went to go say 13 AD BC, but that doesn't make sense. So 13 AD, tracking back all the way to the BC.
Or, the Incans in the Mayan times.
The Incans in the Mayan times. No, but
and even the Aztecs back there in the
Mayan times.
In the Mayan times, yeah.
The Mayans were in the Incan times, though. Strangely enough. No, but so I thought it was a bunch of pretty interesting stuff. So I'm excited to talk about that next week. But it is a bit of a longer one, so I know that we've been going on for quite a bit.
Far too long. So again, we want to thank you guys so much for your attention and support. If you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a great review and tell your friends about us.
Yes.
Word of mouth, obviously, is a huge endorsement.
Yeah.
Make sure you're liking, following, subscribing on your, streaming service of choice for audio.
Absolutely.
That way you get notifications when we post. Still playing around with the posting time. I think midnight might be too early. 8 o'clock, I don't know. Just try and pick up some listeners on our first day for us.
I've heard a couple of things of people, a couple like buddies who listen to the podcast, who listen to it on their way to work. And they said having it early helps them in that sense of being able to listen to it sooner.
Sure.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah,
if you prefer it later, sooner.
Yeah. How would they let us know that stuff, Chris?
Yeah, you can always let us know. Mainly our biggest source is going to be simply mailbag@gmail.com. But you can always reach out to us on our socials. Our Instagram is Simply Whelmed Podcast. Same with our Facebook. Twitter handle is whelmed_simply. I've said it once, and baby, I'll fucking say it again. You can email us, send us your, condolences, your life wills, your wife. At simplywhelmedmailbag@gmail.com.
Your social security number.
Bingo. Your
routing,
your credit
number.
Card with the 3 numbers on the
CVV
back.
on the back is important expiration date. Next week we're watching the Super Mario Brothers movie. I'm kind of excited.
Did you see Jack Black's outfit?
Oh yeah,
dude, gas. That looked really fucking cool.
I like that they had to blur out his dick.
No. He did the premiere walk.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Dude, yeah.
I was talking about him wearing the Bowser outfit.
Yes, they did.
On
what's
like the Kelly Clarkson show, and he did a bit of press in the Bowser costume, and apparently his mushroom tip was just a little too visible.
He was just hanging brain. What's the big fucking problem?
Yeah, in Europe it's pretty normal. The BBC will show vulva.
The BBC will show vulva.
It's only here in the States that we're all stuffy.
Let me see. Damn.
Think of the kids.
This isn't that good of a picture, but it doesn't look like there's that many there. But in it, he has the shell on the back of his jacket, and the front buttons are green, and he's got flames, if you notice, like
on his
heels, but then up here as well.
On his shoulder patches, basically. That's nice.
And it looked really cool.
Yeah.
But I am excited. I'm excited for every part of the Mario movie, except for Mario.
But I'm kind of excited for that, too. Only I'm like, I can't wait to see this.
That movie's going to get so clowned on.
Yeah.
It could be a great movie.
Yeah.
But it's going to get clowned on.
Maybe we'll eat our words.
I hope.
Yeah. That'd be exciting to come into this for the meme and then be like, yo, wait a fucking minute, dude. This is gas. So, who knows, man? Next week.
I can take a hint when there is. I guess that's the end of the episode.
Tell everyone bye. Chris, tell everybody bye.
Bye. You tell everyone bye.
Bye.